Now, I bring you back to Season 4 a little earlier than what I usually do. We're actually on the 3rd of June, so only a couple of days after we left the last episode. And that is because a huge news has happened. Sir Alex Ferguson, only Alex Ferguson at this point, has stepped down as Manchester United manager because he wants to take on a new role as Barcelona manager. Wow. Talk about ruining a legacy, Sir Alex. Yeah, so they only managed to win 2 of the league titles instead of the 13 or whatever it was that he managed to win, or 20, I don't know. I think it was 13 that he won himself, 14 maybe, but still, only 2 of them, and he decided to move on. So, I mean, Barcelona do have a great team. There's no doubt about it. Like, he moves over to a team with some solid players. Michael Laudrup being one of them, of course. They're 30 years of age as their key man. But I don't think they're as good as what Manchester United are, and they only finished in 4th place. And at this point in their history, they have only won 1 Champions League, and that was the season before this series started. So, it's a questionable decision from Alex. It really is. He leaves behind a very good Manchester United team with hot prospects like David Beckham coming through the ranks and Ryan Giggs as his key player, only 22 years of age. But it's great news for us. It's great news for us because whoever joins as Manchester United manager, which we'll take a look at, I don't think they're going to be as good as Sir Alex. Okay, we've moved forward to the 3rd of September. Let's look at some transfers because we had a lot of money to spend, didn't we? Now, first off, a few of the departures. Sergio Manol. I mentioned signing him because of how good he is as a defensive winger. I think Figo's proved that we don't really need that defensive winger, although obviously we didn't win the league last year, whereas we did when we used them. Figo's input was just way too good. Whereas this guy, he didn't actually make that much of an input in the second season. Even in the first season, really, didn't play that well. But we managed to get £35 million for him. And yes, technically, he's one of the best defending wingers that you could possibly get on the game. And he has an amazing finish on him. I don't know. There's just something about him. Even my coaches didn't rate him that well, that I thought, I'm unsure with. And every time I actually played the games throughout pre-season, he just wasn't cutting it. I've also sold Ayala for the same reason. He's 22 now, and I don't feel, other than mentally, I don't feel like he's developed to what I expected him to develop. £14 million is what we actually got for him, but don't worry, I think we've replaced him with potentially the best defender on the game. That man is 29-year-old Brazilian centre-back Alder. Yes, he is phenomenal, by the way. Like, you can already see here, physically, he is great. He's 6 foot. He has fantastic mentals. Like, leadership-wise, he's basically like what Thiago Silva used to be in his prime. And then even on the technicals, that 19 heading, 17 marking, 18 tackling, but he can pass the ball with 16 composure. Obviously, the downside of Ayala, he had no passing ability and he had 3 composure. This guy very much can be very composed on the ball, so we can actually change that no-nonsense centre-back to a ball-playing centre-back and stop losing the ball so much from defence. That's one thing that I noticed. Not to mention, he's also got a really good first touch too. Very underestimated, but I think all the way rounded, he's a far superior defender, and we have spent a little bit of money on him, 63 million, but of course we had over £100 million to spend, and he's not the only player we brought in. I've also brought in Fran, who is Deportivo's one of the legends. He was captain there for a while. He's 26 years of age at this point. £20 million release clause was activated. Now, he plays on the left-hand side. He is the replacement for Manol. And I actually think he's going to be far better than that, because look how good his vision is, his leadership again that I mentioned. We're just bringing in born leaders, which is what I love about this team now. Corners 19, crossing abilities 19. For our team, he's going to be amazing for setting players up. 19 passing technique with 20 vision. What a player that we have, and he's in his prime right now. I also wanted to give Thomas Helveg a bit of competition there. We lost our backup right back. He left on a free transfer, so I brought in Dan Petrescu, who I remember vaguely when I was growing up. A lot of people talking about Dan Petrescu. Romanian, of course, played a lot in Serie A. As we can see here, he started off at Juve, went to Lazio. We picked him up for £13.75 million. Dan Petrescu, I mean, look at that. Dribbling and crossing, fantastic. Well, you're, of course, using inverted wing backs, so those attributes are really solid for that. And the work rate, positioning wise, everything like that is absolutely spot on. I think he's going to be a very good squad player for us. And he actually has signed a deal to be a squad player. He doesn't want starting role, which actually made him more attractive to me than what I realized. But there is a signing that I have made in Gaiska Mendieta that you guys might question. This is going to be our new centre defensive midfielder, probably in front of Roy Keane. Roy Keane is great. Don't get me wrong, I love Roy Keane. I ain't sold him, I want to keep him at the club, but he misses so many games through injury. £37.5 million we've signed Mendieta. Obviously, we got two guy, he's okay. Mendieta's better though. Mendieta is better. So what I'm thinking now is if we take a look at our squad depth, Mendieta is far superior. Roy Keane is down there at 2.5. Even Ronnie Johnson is a better centre defensive midfielder, and he can't even pass the ball than Roy Keane. If you take a look at Roy Keane, he has somewhat passing ability, a lot of 27 mentals, but he misses so many games, and we can't keep having that. He's still at the club, like I mentioned, two guys still here as well. But this is what we're looking at squad depth wise, and I think we're just far superior than what we were last season. Last season, obviously, we threw the league away. The second half of the league campaign was dreadful. In fact, the whole second half of the campaign was dreadful. The whole second half of the season, we got knocked out of 3 competitions and lost all 3 of the trophies that really we should be one of the favourites to win, especially domestically, not maybe so in Europe. So we are still going to run the same tactic. But this time, the only player who slots in is Andy Cole. That is because if I don't put him in the poacher role, he tends to end up in the complete forward role whenever I ask to quick pick the team. So I'm keeping him in that left-hand side, the poacher role, where he scored 60 goals in the Premier League 2 seasons ago. And we can still have Teddy Sheringham there, scoring a lot. Now, we are introducing Ronaldo into more of a backup player. I've brought him off the bench once when I used him, when I actually played these games, obviously like I do in pre-season, so he is there or thereabouts. We have loaned out Montella again, 21 years of age. He's going now to Fenerbahce to try and get a little bit better. But yeah, I'm happy with the size of the squad and the players and backups that we have now. Definitely the best team that we have had so far this season, so far in this series. And it started off quite well, 5-2 victory against Manchester United, of course, who have just won the league. Who is their manager, you ask? Well, Fabio Capello. Yes, left AC Milan, he joins Manchester United, so when I joked about them not having a manager good enough, yeah, they signed probably the best manager on the game at this point, so our work is cut out for us. We're going to see the goals in a sec as well, when we're going to have a little bit of a goal compilation, but a 3-1 victory against Norwich and a 2-1 loss to Ipswich again. Tony Cascarino getting a goal, Rivaldo getting a 90th minute winner. Our Champions League group is Barcelona, so we're still coming up against Sir Alex and Milan. Yeah, we have an incredibly difficult group, but I am sure we can overcome that and at least qualify, maybe even knocking out Alex Ferguson in the meantime, who is obviously at the club. Now, this video is sponsored by SPITCH, but while I'm telling you about that, take a look at some of the goals this season. Yes, SPITCH is a brand new to the market fantasy footballing app that you can enjoy free of charge. It is completely free to download, and yet you can still win some cash prizes. I myself have won prizes on 2 separate occasions just from playing the free game of SPITCH, and I'm having even more fun beating all of you lot in the community league that I have developed. If you are part of the UK or Ireland and you are 18 years of age or above, then you can join SPITCH and you can join my community league. You have to take a little snap of your identification to verify your account, but once you do, using the top link in the description, you can join SPITCH free of charge, and the second link underneath it will join the community league. And it doesn't matter that you're joining near the end of the season because it's a week-on-week basis and there's no restrictions on transfers, for instance. So if you pick a terrible team one season or 1 week like I have, you can change every single player the next week. That is one of my favorite things about SPITCH. All the statistical analysis is on the app as well, so it tells you who's been doing the best and who's been scoring or assisting the most goals. And of course, like I mentioned before, it's a week-on-week thing. My dad's in it, you're in it, 50 other people are in it. Make sure you're joining if you aren't in it, because SPITCH is a fantastic fantasy football immersive app that I want you to join and enjoy with me. So thank you very much for everybody who's been joining up. Thank you if you're going to join up. And thank you very much to SPITCH for sponsoring today's video. Okay, 1st of February 2025 then, and I was joking about Fabio Capello. He stinks. They're down in 13th. Unbelievably, really, isn't it? We actually have double the amount of points they are because we're top. Oh, yes. Only lost 2 games this season against Sheffield Wednesday. And, of course, that loss to Ipswich at the start of the season. 60 points. Again, we're 6 points clear at this point of the season. Fingers crossed this time we can actually do it. And Rivaldo, of all players, is the top scorer. He has 26 goals this season. Andy Cole has 18. And if you take a look at Rivaldo, we can still see he's playing in that shadow striker role. But he's scoring 4 goals. He's scoring hat-tricks. He's just scoring so many goals from that shadow striker role. It's a very underutilized role, let me tell you, especially in this type of tactic. Fran has the most assists alongside Teddy Sheringham as well with 9. Ian right there at Arsenal with 8. So you can see his attributes there. He's got 20 pace. Unbelievable player. And Rivaldo has an 8 average rating throughout the whole season. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, Manchester United, they have sunk right down. Fabio Capello, his job must be up for scrutiny right now because they are not doing very well at all. Let's take a look though at other competitions and see where we are, because we have got Valencia in the first round knockout stage of the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. We've got Blackburn in that, but we are knocked down the 4th round by Aston Villa in the League Cup. Something that we just cannot win for some weird reason. But there we go. Transfer-wise as well, let's take a look. We haven't signed any other player, and we haven't let any other player go other than Brett Williams, who is just more of a squad player. Mainly because we don't really have a lot of money. In fact, we have no money due to the fact that we spent quite a lot in the summer. So in the goals tally, 34 and 32 appearances from Rivaldo in that shadow striker role. Andy Cole, 23 in 32. And Teddy Sheringham, 20 and 13 in 28 appearances. Rivaldo, though, is looking absolutely incredible. What a player. So let's simulate this season then and see where we end up. Well, we are champions once again. We have fought back very valiantly. 102 points, only lost 4 games out of the 42 to make ourselves champions once again. We actually lost the last game of the season despite winning the league years ago by the looks of it, because we won it by like 19 points. Gotta be one of the highest tallies to ever win, like compared to second place, surely. Manchester United, they're all the way down in 9th, so he didn't quite manage to rescue them, and they now have a new manager in Jorge Valdano, who I'm not really aware of. Oh, the Porto one. So he's the guy who won the Champions League with Porto, and he also has been at Inter Milan and Tenerife too. So yeah, fair enough. They are bringing in some big names, of course. They have also just signed Juan Sebastian Veron, which is quite hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh, they have signed him before, £7.5 million. Obviously, he goes to Manchester United in real life and has a stinker, not that good. And then obviously leaves, and everybody is like, what happened? He was supposed to be one of the best players in the world. But there we go. Now, interestingly though, Champions League, we're in the final against Manchester United. Yes, you know what's coming, don't you? We're playing that tomorrow. We are playing the Champions League final tomorrow against Manchester United, against somebody who has just won the Champions League with Porto. Somehow we are knocked out of the quarterfinal by Leeds in the FA Cup, despite them finishing how low down the league? Like 18th, and it does look like they've actually gone on and won it because they've qualified for the Cup Winners' Cup, which is amazing. Wimbledon, Coventry and Middlesbrough, all the teams getting relegated. So weird season. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be playing the Champions League final. So if it is already gone past tomorrow, you're watching this back a little bit later, check out the end screen. That will be the Champions League final, and I'll update it as soon as possible. But just quickly, Rivaldo has scored 53 goals and 13 assists in just 58 appearances. 45 for Andy Cole, 28 for Teddy Sheringham, and even Figo there is getting so many goals and assists. We have an incredible team, and so many players are wanted, by the way, as well. I'll be so disappointed if we do not win tomorrow. So make sure you're checking in, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you're liking the video, and also make sure you're checking out SPITCH as well if you haven't done so. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.